Hello, this is going to be the most comprehensive packing list for Mount Kilimanjaro that you'll find on the internet. So, um, not much of a yapper, so let's get started. Okay, first thing you want, I always start with my must-have documents. I like to categorize my packing list by categories. So, must-have document number one, passport. Definitely always bring your passport. Check every time you leave a place, make sure you have your passport. Checking out your hotel, check your passport. Also, make sure that it is not expired, and if it is, make sure you have enough time to get a new one. And also, if you're a big traveler, make sure you have at least one empty page for whatever new country you're going to. Second, I always like to make a photocopy of my passport just because I am like extra cautious, and so in case anything happens, I lose my passport, I at least have a copy with the passport number. And I guess what you would do in that situation is go to the embassy in that country. Um, but yeah, so I always make sure I have a copy of it as well. The third thing is your visa. So it depends on which country you're coming from. So for the US, you do need to have a visa. We had a girl in our group from Malaysia. She didn't need a visa. So make sure you look up your country's requirements. There's two ways to get the visa. One, you can apply online ahead of time, and from the time it took to submit the application to get it, it took about 2 weeks, roughly for everyone in our group, and it costs $100. One tip on the website is that it does glitch and have issues, and we found that actually the best time to apply for the visa was during Tanzanian business hours. So if you're running into issues on the website, maybe just wait until it's like daytime in Tanzania and apply again. And that usually worked. Also, the payment site does not work, so they send you to another link. It looks a little bit sketch, but it works. So if you run into that, that was normal for us as well. The second option is you could apply on site. So once you land there, then you can get the visa on arrival. I think that costs about $50. Um, it's kind of just up to personal preference and how much time you have to get it done. I like to have things done well in advance, so my preference is just to do it ahead of time. And then also, if you do it in advance, make sure you print out the visa for arrival so that you have it ready to show to the customs officer or immigration officer. Fourth thing on the list is cash. So one of our tour operators wanted us to pay in cash when we got there. A lot of things are cash. Surprisingly, a lot of the restaurants you can pay with credit card. I was actually a little surprised about that. So it's kind of give or take. If you want like small knickknacks and stuff, cash will be better. You'll just have to calculate how much you need. One tip for you that one of our group members found out at the last minute was ATMs will actually only allow you to withdraw up to $500 at a time. So if you need more than that, make sure you allow time for yourself to go to the bank and withdraw as much money as you need to before your trip. So that's another tip. And they also prefer like hundreds, like the blue stripe hundreds. So that's also important. Two other must-have documents. So a debit and credit card. So in case you need to withdraw cash, debit card, credit card. It's always good to have multiple methods of payment. Maybe have two credit cards too, just in case one declines because you're traveling. I think nowadays banks are pretty good about like not stopping your card if you're traveling, but again, it really depends on what company you have. And then the last important document is your yellow book, your vaccine book. They didn't actually ask for this, but I think it's always good to have, especially it depends on which country you're coming from. So if you don't know what it is, this basically just lists all your vaccinations, and it's like internationally, it's your international certificate from the World Health Organization. I'll go over vaccines in another segment, but if you have a long layover in a country that requires yellow fever, then you may need to prove that you have your yellow fever vaccine. If not, then it was not required. They didn't ask for any particular vaccine when we arrived, but we did have a long layover in Ethiopia, and so we did have our vaccines done. So that's it for the must-have documents. I'll move into the medicines next. Okay, now the medicines that you want to bring, don't skimp on these. I think we used like everything we brought. First, you're going to want your malaria pills. Malaria is a pretty nasty disease. Just take them. I honestly didn't even have any side effects from mine. I have the Adaviquan Proguanil 250 100 tablets. I didn't have any adverse like stomach or mental or skin issues. I know some people can have those, but no issues on that. Altitude sickness pills. I definitely need these. Some people in our group didn't take them. It's kind of up to you if you want to take them or not. You can also wait till you're a little bit higher, judge how you're feeling. You just have to take it at least 24 hours before the ascent or before you need it. So it's technically a diuretic, makes you pee more, but I didn't have issues with it either. And you take one in the morning and one at night, or at least just twice a day with a meal. But I would prefer to take it earlier in the day because if it does make you pee, then you don't want to be getting up in the middle of the night. It's cold. You don't want to be going to the bathroom. It was really cold. But those are the two medicines, like prescriptions, that I would make sure to have. The other one that was really important was Imodium, so like the anti-diarrheal medicine. This is just like the whatever generic brand, but it's called Imodium, and this was really helpful. So if you have like stomach issues, maybe from your pills or the altitude or the food or the water, could be from any number of things, just like travelers' stomach issues. These were really nice to have, especially when you're hiking all day. You don't want to have to be like stopping to go in the woods. And these ones you take like up to 4 a day or something like that. Also, just because I've had stomach issues on traveling before, I also brought Pepto-Bismol. I didn't use these because I had this. This is way better than this, but I think you can never go wrong with having enough stomach relief medicines, because it is probably going to happen at some point or another. Okay, and then water tablets. This is one thing that I didn't have time to pack, but luckily my friends had a bunch of water tablets, but they're basically little purification tablets that you put in your water, and they just help kill some bacteria. So I had like a filtered water bottle, which I'll show later, but for the Hydro Pack that was in the backpack, obviously there wasn't really a good way to filter it, and so you just put these little tablets in there, and it just gives you a little bit more peace of mind that the water that you're drinking is clean. They do boil the water for you, but obviously that's not like a foolproof thing. The more bacterial removal you can do, the better. So definitely recommend those water filtration tablets, and they come in like big packs. The other thing, definitely Tylenol and ibuprofen. So just for the sake of space, I condensed everything. So I just had like a little baggie with my ibuprofen, and then I had my little tiny like Tylenol container. Definitely used both. So definitely have some sort of painkiller. If not for yourself, then somebody in your group might need it. Cannot recommend this enough. Electrolytes. This was like gold. Make sure you have enough. I would honestly say I really like this brand, the Noon tablets. They taste really good. Also, they give you like hot boiled water for tea. These are really good in hot water. Surprisingly, I never had it like that before, but it tasted just like we called it our electrolyte tea. So definitely recommend these, and have enough for like 2 a day. And I even like having them on the plane because I get dehydrated when I travel. They're just really good for just rehydrating, especially because when you're at that high of an altitude, they tell you to drink liters and liters and liters of water. And so you're going to have to, like, even if you're drinking that much water, you're going to feel dehydrated because you're not getting the electrolytes. So this must have electrolytes, whether that brand or another brand, whatever you prefer. And then this is kind of personal preference, but I think it was really important, vitamins. So I have this little vitamin case that I just put all my stuff in, like morning and evening. And basically I took my B12, my iron, my omega-3. But the one thing this is my first time taking this actually. It was called Airborne. Somebody recommended it to me because I was like, I always get sick when I travel. She was like, you should take Airborne. I did. Everyone got sick except for me. I was taking these. And then I ran out like 2 days before the trip ended. That day I got sick. So I don't know if it was because of these, but I cannot recommend these enough. I'm going to be taking them every single trip from now on. It's kind of a big bottle, so I just put like 2 in each of my little pill things, along with my vitamins. And I will definitely be doing that for future trips as well, and packing more for other people because everyone got sick at some point. You can probably hear my congestion still. I also, these are pretty cool. These are the emergency crystals, so they're actually waterless, so you just kind of open it, and it tastes like orange Pop Rocks, kind of. And you don't need water, so you just kind of like chew it, swallow. They don't have the electrolytes like the normal emergency packets do, but if you are like in a bind, you don't have clean water available, or maybe just not enough water to like pour a bunch of emergency into, these were really nice for like on the go. Just don't lose the little trash thing. Make sure you pack in, pack out. And then personal preference, just like first aid kit. If you are going with a reputable company, which I hope you are, they're going to have a first aid kit as well. So you may not need to pack that, but it's kind of up to you if you want to be extra safe. We have like a little tiny first aid kit that just has a little bit of everything that we always bring. But yeah, that's last on the medicines and health related list. All right, next is the electronic segment. So obviously you want your phone. Number one, probably can go without saying. Power banks. These were really nice. I got these on Amazon before the trip. They have the wireless charging, so you can just like literally just put your phone on it and it'll charge. See, charging. So that's really nice. And then it also has like 2 built-in USB-C plugs. Tells you how much juice is left. You have a USB and then the USB-C plug-in as well. You can just like turn it off. Around that button. I brought 2, but I'm not like a huge picture taker. My friends bought their cameras and stuff, so I didn't have to use my phone that much. So I actually only went through one of these and then like part of another one to charge my watch as well. So it depends on how much like energy you're going to use. I'll post the link to these. These are really nice. Yeah, I had 2 just in case because I don't know, I didn't want to get to the summit and not have battery to take photos. Just didn't have enough like human battery. Then the other thing you want to bring is a power adapter. So again, this was just off Amazon. This one is like it's interchangeable, so you can actually pop this piece out and then you can change it depending on what country you're going to. For Tanzania, it's type D and type G. I think this one is type D, and then I have type G in here somewhere. Yeah, it's like these 2. I only used this one. I think this is the type D. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, and a lot of the plugs actually did take like US plugs as well. So even if you like are in a bind and forgot this, you're probably going to be fine. But it is good to have an adapter if you're going to be traveling to a lot of different countries, especially ones that you can interchange and swap out depending on what country you're going to. Next is AirTag. So for your luggage, this is a personal preference. I, again, am super safe. I've heard things about luggages being lost, whatever. I hate to check my bag if I'm going on a trip. If I'm coming back, sure, whatever. It'll be found eventually. But for the trip, I would be absolutely mortified if all my stuff got lost in the airport. So I put an AirTag in my bag just so that I can track it. If it does get checked and lost somewhere, I at least have some way to find it, even if it's like spotty. And then Kindle. I brought my Kindle. I used it one time and it was only because I couldn't sleep one night, and honestly I probably wouldn't bring it again if I could go back and change it. You don't have that much downtime. It's cold. Like if you're somebody that really is an avid reader, then sure, bring it. But if you think like, oh, I'm gonna have so much time to read and whatever, like if you're not somebody that would normally read, you probably aren't gonna start on this trip. So again, personal preference. It really wasn't too big to bring. It's like a small little Kindle, so yeah, bring it if you want or don't. And then of course, don't forget your chargers. So to charge your power banks, charge your phone, charge your watches, charge your Kindle. Luckily, everything's starting to move towards that USB-C, but I had like a couple chargers that I just had to make sure that I didn't forget. So make sure that you also do not forget your various chargers that you may need on your trip. Okay, next is the toiletries segment. This is all just kind of like standard packing stuff, but I'll go through the list anyway because it's good to go over it. Wet wipes. Cannot emphasize this enough. Wet wipes, wet wipes, wet wipes. Bring an abundance of them. It is really cold as you start getting higher to the top, and depending on what company you have, you may or may not have the option to shower. What we did get was like boiled like bowls of water that we could like wash ourselves with. But in order to do that, you kind of need a wipe. So one brand that I found for this trip was called Porta Wipes. Not sponsored or anything, but these were actually really cool. They're like compressed little towels, and then you just put like a little bit of water on them, and then they expand into like really like durable towels, and that was really nice for the hot water that we were given, so you could like expand it and then wipe yourself down with that. I also had about 3 packs of wet wipes as well, that I also brought. I actually ended up with too many wet wipes, but it was good because some of my friends didn't have enough, so I gave them a bunch of wet wipes. Like I was the wet wipe supplier. So that's number one, wet wipes. 2, toothbrush, toothpaste. Don't forget to brush your teeth, take care of your teeth. If you wear a retainer, I didn't bring my retainer on this trip because I just didn't think that I would be getting clean enough water to wash it, and I ended up being fine. So, personal preference if you want to take it or not. I'm not your dentist. Don't take my advice. Um, Contacts and glasses, if you have them, don't forget them. I am a contacts wearer, but I also brought my glasses for in the middle of the night when I would need to go to the bathroom, or just get up, or didn't, or in case I had. You should always bring your glasses if you're a contacts wearer because if you have any issue, like maybe you scratch your cornea or something, you're not going to be able to wear your contacts. So make sure you have your glasses, and vice versa. Deodorant, kind of personal preference, just don't be the stinky one. Shampoo and conditioner. Uh, didn't really have time to wash our hair, to be honest, on the trip. I did a lot of braids just to keep my hair like kind of manageable. But shampoo and conditioner for when you get to the hotel back. If you are worried about getting your period, tampons, pads, menstrual cups. Make sure you pack your Tylenol. Um, Razor, if you want to shave your legs or anything like that, bring that. Sunscreen, I would say both face and body sunscreen. I brought my face sunscreen because it's like airport, it's 3 ounces. But for the body stuff, I just bought it at the grocery store in like at the base city in Moshi. So you can also buy stuff if you forget. They have like pretty legit supermarkets too. Not supermarkets, but they have like products that you can get there. We brought bug spray, didn't use it at all. Actually had no issues with the bugs. Like even on the safari portion after Mount Kilimanjaro, no real issue with mosquitoes. We went in end of July, which is like the dry winter season, so maybe that's why. But I would say you honestly up to you if you want bug spray. Didn't use it. Hand sanitizer, definitely bring that, especially you're going through the airport. The camp toilets, like they're nice for sure, but still you're touching like toilets and shared spaces, and you're on a mountain, so like obviously hygiene is not going to be like the best. So bring hand sanitizer. Just do what you can to avoid being sick. Definitely do not forget this: lip balm, lip balm, lip balm, lip balm, with SPF. I religiously applied lip balm because I saw in a video some girl was like, "You need it." Like her lips were super chapped. I'm so glad I did, especially because you're going up colder areas. Your lips are gonna get chapped, and so religiously apply that lip balm, and you'll be fine. I didn't have any issues, thank God. Another thing, Vaseline. I got this little travel size one, or just some sort of um, skin protectant gel. Again, you're going into cold climate with low or high elevation, and your skin is going to crack and peel, and maybe you're blowing your nose a bunch. So I put some Vaseline here because my nose was getting irritated from blowing my nose. So again, this was really nice to have as well. I didn't use that much of it, but also if you get like a little cut or scrape or something, this is really nice to put on it for healing. Tissues, bringing some like travel tissues. I used a lot of tissues because when I hike and it's cold, my nose runs a lot. Also, when I get sick. So I think having travel tissues was really nice to have. Again, that was something I bought there actually, so I didn't bring that, but I bought it there. And then the last thing, I no, two things I would also recommend. Eye drops, I use these like 1 or 2 times, but eye drops if you have eye issues, if you know your eyes are dry, um, whatever, personal preference. And then earplugs. Definitely bring these. The camps are pretty close together actually. And sometimes like in the lower elevation, there's actually like animals around. So at the first camp we were at, there were monkeys. And so you could actually hear them just like jumping on the trees and howling at each other, which is cool at first, but then after a while you're like, okay, I want to sleep. And some people stay up late, and there's no real like sound barrier because you're in a tent and you're near a bunch of people, and the tents are close together. So if you have trouble sleeping, even if you don't have trouble sleeping, I'm usually a very deep sleeper. I usually don't have any issues. But as soon as I put those earplugs in, I was out. So I would recommend. And that's it for the toiletry segment. Actually, one more thing I wanted to add on toiletries after the fact. This is my like travel hack that I swear by. I put my cellar water in this little like spray bottle, and I just like, it's really travel convenient, spray my face. These are like little reusable makeup wipes, or just like cotton rounds. I got on Amazon, and you just wash them in the laundry machine. So when I'm traveling and like I don't have access to like clean water, but I want to like wash my face, I just spray this all over my face, and then I like wipe it down. And that has been like game-changing travel tips. So in addition to toiletries, if you like to clean your face at the end of the day, and you're worried about the cleanliness of the water, you maybe have sensitive skin, you just want to make sure you take off everything. Travel tip. Okay, next we're going to go into our accessories segment. So I'm going to put these in my accessories because I can't wear socks. I brought so many socks. I'm so glad that I did. So I brought my like normal day socks. Like I just have like, these are my favorite socks. I just wear them every day. I brought at least like one pair per day because I knew that I'd maybe want to go like hiking with them, and then have like my wool socks for sleeping. I'm so glad I did because I went through like every single pair of socks I brought. I would definitely recommend bringing like 2 pairs of socks per day. Make the room for it. It's worth it. Because also at night, like it's cold, you might want to double layer your socks. So unless you want to wear your stinky socks, and then, I mean, I did rewear my socks a few times, but bring enough socks. And then merino wool socks. Merino wool, if you've done any research, is like the like most recommended material for warmth and like hiking and this type of activity. I don't really know how it compares to other wool. I don't really know what makes it special, but I bought like a pack of socks with merino wool, and they were warm and they're very soft. I didn't love hiking with them. I tried hiking with them one day, and they actually ended up being like too warm because it was really sunny during the day. So I definitely preferred these during the day and these at night, except for the summit night when it was colder. Then I wanted to wear a pair of these over top my normal socks. For summit night, I actually did bring these like compression socks, and I'm glad I did because they, like, one, they're really good for just like circulation, I think. But two, it was just like another layer on my calf. See how long they are? Like that's just like another layer of warmth, and so these were nice to have. And then I put the merino wool socks over them, so I only had the 2 pairs of socks on for summit night, and that was plenty. And my shoes aren't like waterproof, like insulated or anything like that. Just those 2 pairs of socks. That was totally fine. Next, your hands. We've done our feet, now our hands. You're gonna want at least 2 types of gloves. So one is gonna be your liner gloves. So these are all messed up, but your normal type of like mittens and just kind of everyday gloves that you would wear around your campsite or during the day. I actually brought 3 different types of gloves because I had them and because I know that I like to have different gloves for different purposes. So these were kind of like my these were like my night gloves, like just kind of like going to dinner and like still have my fingers. They're not mittens, like, but still a little insulated. So those were my like night gloves. But then my hiking gloves during the day, I really like these fingerless gloves because, again, more like movement range, and then I can also like cover it. I could like turn it into a mitten if it was like really cold. It was nice with like the trekking pole, or like if I need to get something out of my bag or I want to take a photo, it also like has this little thumb loop, and I could just do that without taking off the whole glove and being cold. So that was nice. You have to excuse me, I'm a little sick. And then the last thing is like a puffer glove. So this is only really for some at night. I mean, if you're really cold at night, you can wear these at night too. But just kind of like a glove that goes, you basically want to wear your liner glove and then these on top. And these should be like windproof, maybe even waterproof if it's gonna rain, but definitely windproof. This is like your final layer of protection against the elements. So that's the gloves. Next, sunglasses. Definitely recommend sunglasses. You're just outside all day. You want to protect your eyes. Maybe something with like UV protection. I got these during like a 10K race or something, and they're just like really good UV sunglasses. So I brought these. I've seen some people, they wanted the wraparound ones. Like these were honestly fine, just like a normal pair of sunglasses. Especially at the top, the summit, because there's a lot of snow and ice and it reflects back on you, especially with the sunrise and everything. So you want to have a pair of sunglasses so you don't blind yourself, as with any snow days. And then a sun hat. So I just had a baseball cap. That was fine for me. I did get a little bit of a sunburn on my neck one of the days, but that can easily be mitigated by just putting sunscreen or wear a neck gaiter or wear something with a hood or get a sun hat that has a back as well. Some people had like the full sun hat. It's just personal preference. I don't think you need to have it. I just use my baseball cap. Hiking shoes, make like you can rent hiking shoes, but I would absolutely make sure that you have the right pair of hiking shoes. Like try them on, test them out, like take them on a hike before you do this trip because you will be doing so much hiking and you absolutely cannot be like worried about your feet. Like you do not want to have blisters from day one. My recommendation on shoes is just try out what works best for you. I really wanted hiking boots when I first started getting into hiking because I just thought they looked really cute and like aesthetic. I got a pair of hiking boots. I hated them. Like they were so like clunky to me. Like I hated how heavy they felt. But they also have benefits in that they provide ankle support. So if you're worried about rolling an ankle, hiking boots are probably a must for you. For me, like I have hiked so much at this point, I want something versatile. So trail runners are more my style, which is more of like it looks like a sneaker, but it just has like the trail like support on the bottom. I have a pair of like Salomons because that's really popular. I lived in Washington a few years ago, and that was like the popular brand. But they fit really well, and I have like wider feet, so it fit my feet. And they've been great shoes since. So, but it took a couple tries. I went through several pairs of shoes before I found a pair that I liked and that didn't cause me any issues. Excuse my emailing. So yeah, shoes, like don't rent there unless you absolutely have to. Like make sure you have a good pair of shoes. Invest in those shoes. Mine are like water resistant. They're not even waterproof, and that was fine too. So personal preference. I think as long as you have good tread on the bottom and they're comfy, you'll be fine. Comfy shoes for camp. This was one thing that I went back and forth a lot on, before, like as packing, of like, what type of shoes should I bring as my comfy shoes? Because I have Crocs, but they're giant, and I didn't want to carry them in my backpack the whole trip. And also, they don't have much tread on the bottom. But then I was thinking, do I want slippers? Am I gonna want to wear sneakers? I ended up just bringing my normal day sneakers because we had like a whole week after the summit that I wanted to have normal walking shoes. And I told myself I wasn't going to bring more than two pairs of shoes. My sneakers ended up being fine. They're comfy and like they had room, so like they weren't rubbing up on the same spots that the hiking shoes were rubbing up on because I did get some blisters, but nothing bad. So again, personal preference. I would say when you're up further up on the mountain, sometimes you are on a slant on like rocky terrain. So you do definitely want something with a little bit more tread than like a sandal would, um, because you may slip going to the bathroom and you don't want to injure yourself like right before you get to the top of the mountain. So I would recommend something like just a normal pair of sneakers, or just any sort of like hiking sandals would be good. Um, so that's my 2 cents on that. Next is a neck gaiter and balaclava. So I got this when I went skiing one year, and I'm really glad I did. It's got like a nice like, I don't know, it's not even fleece inside. It's just kind of like dry fit inside, but it was really warm. And you can like wear it for sun protection. You can like have it like all the way up against your face. You can have it like all the way like around your head if you want. I'm not gonna put it on right now, but this is like a nice and long one too. So this was really really nice to have. Like you definitely want this. If not the whole trip, then at least for the last day. Some people also had balaclavas. Those are the ones that go like all the way around your face. Like think of like a robber's like ski mask. I didn't have one. I was fine. What I did bring though, because I didn't have a balaclava, was I brought my COVID mask actually, um, because it's cloth and it covers like a lot of my face, and I know it's breathable. And this was actually really nice to have. This was really nice to have on Summit. So if you still have your old COVID masks, like feel free to break them out for your like cold weather hikes and stuff because your nose will get cold. And so it was just like a nice little like extra thing to have. Okay, continuing on. Leg gaiters. If you've never heard of those, they're basically they go over your shoes and over your pants, and if it's muddy, it kind of keeps your ankles and shoes and shin area clean, so that the mud and the dirt doesn't get like kicked up on you. Um, I rented leg gaiters when I got there from the company that we went with, and I didn't use them a single time. I don't think I'm a leg gaiter type of person. Some people used them every single day we were there. I think it's up to your personal preference and maybe how many socks you brought. Maybe because I had an abundance of socks, I was like, yeah, whatever, my socks can get dirty. Um, so yeah, that's up to you if you want to bring them or not, or rent them or not use them at all. I think also look at the weather forecast. If it's going to be rainy, you may want them. For us, we got really fortunate with weather. It was very sunny and dry, so we didn't have any like real muddy areas. One thing as an experienced hiker that I bring on like almost every single hike now, long hike with elevation, compression sleeves for my knees. This one's a little bit dirty right now. But for my knees, because I know that I have like issues on descent, where my knees will just take a lot of the impact. And trekking poles will help a lot with that, but still, compression sleeves on my knees for the decline, really great to have. So if you have knee problems, I highly recommend looking into some sort of like compression sleeve or brace or something for your knees. You're not supposed to wear them for like too long of a period of time, but I found that they have helped like stabilize my knees immensely when I go on declines, and like friends have used them, and they like them as well. And then the last thing is a warm hat slash beanie. Definitely bring a beanie. This one's kind of fun. It has, if you have long hair, it has this like opening here, so you could actually put your ponytail through it. So your ponytail doesn't have to be crunched up against your head. So I like that. I can like put my hair through it, and then I have like a beanie with a ponytail sticking out. But yeah, just any like warm hat will be nice to have. Even at night, like I wore this at night because it was cold at night. And this protected, like kept the warmth in my head and in my ears and everything like that. So that's it for accessories. Okay, the next segment is camping gear, camping accessories. First thing, lantern or headlamp. Um, you absolutely need these for summit night because you start the hike around midnight and you'll be hiking until sunrise. So you do not want to go 6 hours without, or 6 to 7 hours without light. I would say that the headlamp, there's some pros and cons to different headlamps. So this one has like a red light. This is nice for like talking to people, or like if you don't want to like blast someone with your headlamp. However, this one, what it doesn't have is like an adjustable head. So like once it's on, it's just kind of like wherever it's pointing. Whereas there's some that it'll like, you can point it down and it'll stay like that. This ended up like being so annoying because I couldn't point it down. So if you can get one that points down, I recommend doing that. I ended up at some points just taking it off and holding it like a normal flashlight because I was so annoyed of like looking down like that. Like you don't want to do that. And then the other thing that they tell you to bring, and you definitely should, is batteries, like backup batteries, because if your headlamp dies, then you're kind of screwed. So make sure you have extra batteries. I actually just had replaced the batteries before we left, and I just took them out of here so that when my headlamp was packed away, it wasn't accidentally like turning on and draining the battery. So I was fine with one pair of batteries. But for peace of mind, I wish I had a backup pair just in case, so I could like not worry about it. I'm a worrier if you haven't noticed. Yeah, headlamp, batteries, hand warmers. I didn't bring them. Hand warmers. It depends on what you like. You've probably used those hot hands before or heard of them. I've used those before. They're really nice. However, I have been trying to find things that are more reusable and like eco-friendly. Because the idea of just like those like one and done hand warmers, and they're just kind of like a lot of trash to me. It really bothers me. So I was really looking for something that I could use that wouldn't be so bad. And I tried rechargeable hand warmers. Not really great when you're on a mountain, and they don't last very long, and they still use like batteries, so they're not like the best option. What I did find was this like really interesting, like I guess it's like an old school hand warmer. Um, and if I can find it, I'll do a little separate video on it. But it's like a charcoal hand warmer, but it's like got this little case, and you light these charcoal sticks, and you light them, and you put it in the case, and after about an hour, it gets really hot. And it will emit like a small like charcoal smell, but really nothing like crazy. And I would put that in the foot of my like sleeping bag with my feet, and that was amazing. It felt so nice on my feet, like my feet were never cold. And the great thing is that you can all you have to do is breathe by the little charcoal sticks. It just turns into ash. You just dump it, and then um, it's like a reusable product. So I don't know, maybe there's some cons to it as well, but I really liked it, and that was my first time using it, and so that's what I used for my hand warmers. You could use the hot hands too. Just personal preference again. A lot of stuff is just personal preference. If you do get the charcoal hand warmer, you will need a lighter because you have to light the charcoal stick, and since you can't bring that through TSA, you would just have to buy a lighter when you get there, which is fine. There's lighters at shops. Camelback. So for your backpack, like your day pack, they tell us to drink like 4 to 5 liters a day of water. This is 3 liters if you fill it all the way up, and you would put your water purification tablets in here. So bring like a good water bladder. This one has a cap on it, which is nice because like sometimes when you're taking breaks, it like the nozzle like drag across the ground. You don't want to be like putting that in your mouth after. So this was a really good one. This is like it was like army grade or something. I don't know. Got it on Amazon. I also brought a water bottle with a filter in it. I don't have it on me right now, but it has like a built-in filter that was nice for the airport or just like city water. Anywhere where I could just like I just had that peace of mind of like my water was being filtered as I was drinking it. So I highly recommend that. Um, a travel pillow is really nice. This is like just a little compact pillow that it's inflatable, so you blow it up, and it turns into like a decent sized pillow. So this is nice if you're a camper. Just a nice little like luxury to have, so you're comfortable. Ziploc baggies, so both for trash and for your toiletries. So I just brought like a bunch of Ziploc baggies. I believe like you're not supposed to have single-use plastic items on the mountain, but if you use it for toiletries or whatnot, then it's fine. So I just had all my toiletries in there, and then I had one that I used for trash every day. And then another accessory I brought, or just camping gear. This is blister tape. This is just in case I got like blisters on my feet or maybe some chafing or anything like that. I didn't end up needing to use it, but that's like something I bring on all my like big hiking trips because I have had instances where I have had to use it, and it is really nice to have. Um, a towel. This is a quick dry towel. It's very thin. You can see. Very good towel actually. It's like a nice, just like thin like microfiber towel, and it packs up like super small, and it dries really fast, and it works really well. So I recommend getting like one of these like travel size towels. I bring this on like all my travel trips now because you never know when you're gonna need a towel or you won't have access to a towel, and so it's nice to have a towel. Next, luggage lock. Um, yeah, just peace of mind again. You're going through the airport, there's a lot of people around. Um, on the hike, porters will be carrying your bag for you, like your big bag, and they have it all packaged up. Like, I was never worried about somebody breaking into my bag or anything like that, but it doesn't hurt to just lock your stuff if you are worried about somebody or you have valuables. Maybe you leave your cash in there, which you probably shouldn't. But just in case, like, it doesn't hurt. Like, luggage lock is always a good idea to have, especially if you're traveling to a region that has like theft issues. Tanzania, no, but like, I don't know, like Paris, like you can get pickpocketed in Paris. This will prevent it. Um, the last thing I brought that I didn't need to use, because again, we went during the dry season, but this is a rain pack cover, so if it was raining, I would put this over my backpack, and then it just keeps everything dry and waterproof. So you might want a rain pack. And then the last thing that I did not bring, I rented there because it's hard to get through the airport, is trekking poles. Definitely recommend the trekking poles. Personally, I only use them on the descent usually. I'm not really like, I don't love having like poles on my like ascent because I like to use my hands. I like to have the extra balance. I like to be able to access my phone, not have like things on my hands. But on the downhill, they help so much with like relieving pressure on your knees or just like stability. And like sometimes the uphill is difficult where there's not really a lot of traction. I would say this hike was like generally like very safe. There was no point of it that I felt unsafe. Um, but trekking poles always help, especially if you have maybe mobility issues or you're worried about your joints or anything like that, or stability or whatever. Maybe it's just like your emotional support poles. Bring your poles. And then the last thing that I'll point out is I also got this. It's just like a little like pouch thing. I called it my pouch. But this is what I would just keep like all of my important documents in: my cash, my passport, my vaccine card, like my credit cards, everything in here. It does have that like RFID stop thing. And then just like a little pocket here, I put my boarding pass in. And this was just nice to keep like all my important stuff in one place so that and like I never left it behind. So if I even went, let's say I was at a restaurant, I went to the bathroom, I would just take this with me. Like, just take my passport and all my cash with me. Like, there's no reason to leave it anywhere. And this just keeps it all in one place and very compact. So I did really like having this. Not the most stylish purse in the world, but a very useful one. Okay, the final part that you're probably really most interested in is clothing. I'm not gonna go through like every single item I packed because I think that a lot of it was just like long sleeves and pants, whatever, but I will go through the ones that I was really glad I packed. Starting with like the base layer. So first of all, the first 2 days, honestly the first like 3 days, during the day it was actually pretty hot. It was very sunny and I wish I had packed shorts. At least like one pair. I did have a pair of convertible pants that turned into shorts, but they were fugly. I wore them, but they were not cute. So I wish I brought like my athletic shorts, at least just one pair, because there were some days that I was like, man, I wish I had my shorts. Um, these were my convertible pants that I did wear the first like 2 days because they were lightweight. But as you can see by color, I mean, they were fine as pants, but when I turned them into the shorts, they weren't cute. Let's put it that way. But they packed really light. If you look for like specific camping or like backpacking gear, sometimes you'll see like pack light. That just means like you can actually fold it into its pocket, like into the pocket, and then it packs like really compact. Um, so I was looking specifically for pack light gear because I wanted stuff that would be compact. So these are like LL Bean convertible hiking pants, which was nice. I did wear them. I did enjoy them. They had this like nifty little hook and whatever. I didn't really use all the features in doohickeys, but when it was hot, it was nice to have a lightweight pair of pants that also could be shorts. When it was cold, so let's say at night or on the kind of later days of the hike, then I started wearing my thermals. Usually at night too, but thermals. So this is like a base layer, just like a nice like warm material. I think this is polyester and spandex. This is the brand I like a lot. They're really cheap actually. It's called 32 Degrees. And they'll sell like base layers, like very basic stuff, but their stuff is actually really high quality, very affordable. I think this was like less than $10 for like a pair of leggings that are like good quality, felt warm, and they're good for like underneath other pairs of pants. Um, Also for shirts too, so same thing. Like again, same brand, 32 degrees. Just like a nice like thermal long sleeve. I think I brought like 2 or 3 long sleeves like this. Um, all of my stuff ended up being dirty by the end of it. Like I ended up rewearing stuff, and it was fine, honestly. I think I wish I brought like maybe one more pair of just like everything. But you know, you have limited space. What can you do? It's fine. Another thing, highly recommend. Really liked having. This is a sun hoodie. Um, it basically is like for wearing in the sun. This is from REI, but it has a hood and it's got like SPF 50, so it'll protect you from the sun. It also has um, like the sleeve where you can like put your thumb through it, so it protects the back of your hands too. This was really nice. I didn't want to wear sunscreen every day because I wasn't really gonna have a shower every day, so like I hate the feeling of it on me at night. So this was nice alternative to having to put sunscreen on like constantly. So the sun hoodie was really nice. You don't have to get the REI one. I actually ended up. This is a pro tip too for you ladies. I do a lot of research before I buy my stuff, and I usually buy men's stuff because I hate how fitted and like not functional women's clothing is sometimes. So actually, this is the men's sun hoodie, like a medium because I like it larger. The women's for some reason has like you can't see, but it like curves up on the side. So like if you lift your arm, you like your side's exposed, and it's like, well, what's the point of the shirt? You know, it's not protecting you. So I got the men's because the cut is actually like way more functional. So don't be afraid to order or try on at least the men's stuff. You might be surprised how much you like it better. Um, so that's also a good tip for you. Another thing I really liked. Well, another thing I brought three. No, I brought like 4 sports bras. Glad I did. I rewore each one twice, but yeah, bring enough sports bras. You don't need one for every day. You can rewear sports bras. These are also LL Bean pants. These are their trail pants. I wore these like almost every single day, to be honest, because they never really got dirty, which was really nice. They're waterproof, windproof. Sometimes I wore just these and I wouldn't even be cold, even though it was cold outside. And they are also pack light too, so I could like fold them into themselves. But I wore these like constantly, and even when they got dust in the bottom, it was really easy to just brush the dust off. They're like I think they're the like Gore-Tex material. But these were really nice. The only downside to these is they don't have pockets in the front. They just have one pocket in the back. Kind of weird design. I wish they had pockets, but that was not like a deal breaker for me. I would definitely bring these again. Next, a fleece jacket. Not that I wore it for hiking, but it was really nice whenever we got to camp to have like a clean jacket that was warm that I could wear at dinner. So this was my like camp jacket. Um, just like a nice like fleece. This one I got for my birthday a couple years ago. Again, a men's jacket because the women's is super fitted and not comfy at all. But I got the men's and it's very comfortable. Highly recommend. Um, a puffer. I had the Nano Puff. Again, I got this for this trip. And I was debating on if this would be enough because it's a Nano Puff. It's very thin, very lightweight. I ended up bringing it anyway because it packs really, really small. And I actually ended up just clipping it on my backpack so that whenever I was hiking, like if it got cold, I would just put it on. And then if it got hot, I could just fold it up really tight and clip it on my backpack. So this I was really glad I brought. It was actually really nice to have. It was like, because it was hot most of the day, like this was a good, just like if it was windy, then it was fine. A good little barrier and a nice color. It's a nice little color. So this was actually a nifty little jacket. I'm glad I got it. And this one is the women's. But you can see, you can like fold it into the pocket here, and then it actually like has like a little loop somewhere. Yeah, like, and then you can like hook it onto your bag. Which, that's another thing I forgot to add. Carabiner. Carabiners were really nice to have. Bring carabiners. Lastly, the last thing I was really glad I had was my rain jacket. It's like a rain and wind jacket, LL Bean men's. I would say size up on the rain jacket because you want to be able to put it over top of whatever else you're wearing. So if it's cold, you might have a jacket underneath. This is supposed to be your like outer shell. So if it's windy and rainy, you want a large enough like rain jacket. And it has all kinds of doohickeys. This is like an old vintage one I got on eBay. I like LL Bean a lot, so I was like, I don't have time to try on a bunch of new brands and stuff. Like, I'm just gonna buy stuff from brands I already trust. So LL Bean is one. Really glad. I really like the color of this. Another thing for a rain jacket that I didn't know about until this trip. Some have like zipper pits, so you can like actually open the armpit without taking off the jacket, and it just like allows airflow because the like the waterproof material, like sometimes it can get a little bit like sweaty inside because it is waterproof. And so you can actually open the pits and then it'll give you like more airflow. And that was really nice to have because sometimes it would be cold, but I'd be a little stuffy in my jacket. So I would just unzip my pits and I could keep hiking. I didn't have to stop the whole group to take off my jacket and rearrange everything. So if you're looking for a good rain jacket, I definitely recommend looking for that feature. I know a lot of the big brands have it, like options with that. It might cost a little bit more, but I think it was totally worth it. And try looking on like Poshmark or eBay or any of those secondhand retail stores or marketplace, like Facebook Marketplace. You'd be surprised. You can find a lot of really good stuff for way cheaper. You do not have to pay like retail dollars for some of this stuff. In terms of other gear, I brought some t-shirts. Glad I brought t-shirts for sleeping or just to kind of like wear at dinner. Yeah, sun hoodie. I probably would have brought like maybe two of those and ditched on my long sleeves. Bring enough underwear. I brought enough for like two pairs every day, like a day pair and a night pair. Glad I did. I had like just enough until we could do laundry after that. So just pack an overabundance of socks and underwear. And your clothes, like you can rewear your clothes. Like everyone was very much under the impression of like we're just going to be a little bit dirty by the end of this trip, and that's okay. You're going to spend a whole week sleeping on a mountain um, without a shower, and so you might be a little bit dirty and stinky. But honestly, I felt way cleaner than I thought I would. Probably because it was just like colder. If it was hot, I would have been miserable. It was hot during the day, but not at night. Um, yeah, I'll if there's anything else that I forgot, I'll put it in my like miscellaneous segment. Um, I'll repeat again, carabiner. Don't forget carabiner. Those are really nice. I actually ended up after the trek, a guy wanted to trade me my carabiner for a bracelet because people need carabiners. So you can barter too. Okay, I'll stop talking there. I'm done. Oh, and another thing for packing. Packing cubes are awesome. Like seriously invest in a pack of packing cubes for all your travel because it's so nice to split up your clothes. I initially had it split. I was like my Mount Kilimanjaro clothes, my safari clothes. You could split it, your shirts, your pants. By the end, I had like my clean clothes, my dirty clothes, like all separated. So easy to take out of the backpack. Like you literally just like have all these little different size pouches and you just like fill them depending on what works best for you. So nice to have. Like I cannot recommend packing cubes enough. It just keeps everything so much more organized and like easier to get to. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is the backpack. You will want a pack that you are comfortable carrying on your back every day. Day pack. A day pack versus your big pack. Your big pack is like what holds all your stuff. The porters are going to carry all your like big stuff. But you will want a pack that can hold enough of your water, maybe a few of your layers that you're gonna bring during the day, your like sunscreen, your toiletries. So you want something that's at least like a decent size. I think this is like a 15 liter. I would say a 15 liter is like minimum of what you need because you already want to carry 4 liters of water on you. Like your jackets, your like hat, your beanie, maybe your gloves, things like that that you might need throughout the day that you'll need access to while you're hiking. One thing that I actually despised, do not recommend about my bag, and I think I'm like, this is the last time I'm going to use this bag. It is an Osprey. I got it because it came with the day pack, or not the day pack, the big pack. And it's like very travel friendly. Like it packs up really nicely for the airport, so you don't have to check your bag. That's a great feature about it. However, the day pack, there is no belt for the bottom, so all of the weight was like on my shoulders. I ended up making like a makeshift belt, like by putting a pair of my leggings through this bottom loop and like tying it around my waist. So don't be like me, like get a pack that has a belt, like make sure you test it out beforehand. I've used this pack before, just not on this long of a hike before, and I really was regretting it by the end of the hike. So that's my biggest advice, like make sure you get a pack that has like enough support that you feel comfortable wearing it the whole hike. And then um, like it has the clip in the front too, so that's nice as well. And also just like a place to put the water pouch, like, and you can feed the hose through like the top portion there. So that's what you want for your pack that you're wearing during the day. Again, the porters are actually going to carry your big bag. They like, what they do is they wrap it up into like a big plastic bag with like cushioning and stuff. It's very like legitimate. And then they legitimately will like carry their bag and then your bag on their head. It's insane. They carry so much stuff. Like they carry your bag, the tent, camp chairs. Like we had like legitimate big camp chairs, and they carried those all the way up the mountain. Um, I was like, you guys did not need to do all that. I'm glad they did. It was really nice, but I was like, that's not what I was expecting. So they carry so much stuff, and like they'll literally carry it like on their head, just like legitimate balance it on their head. So don't worry about like if you'll have to carry your big bag. I think it's not supposed to be more than 35 kilograms. So make sure that you're aware of how much weight is in your bag. And tip your porters very well. Make sure that they are being compensated for all that hard work. So yeah, that was my last note on the bag. Make sure you have one that you're comfortable carrying every day and has enough space. Okay, note on food. I didn't bring any snacks, actually. I didn't bring any. That was fine. I had some friends that brought snacks. They ended up carrying them for like most of the mountain. On the last day, it would have been nice to have had like maybe one or two snacks, but we were honestly fed pretty well. I never really felt like I needed to eat more, to be honest. Maybe the last day, but that's because you're burning so much. In terms of preparation, physically, I would say you should be able to do at least a 10-mile hike with 5,000 feet of elevation gain and decline. Not every day is going to be that long. In fact, there were some days that were a lot shorter than that, but there are at least like 1 or 2 days where you are doing that, and you need to be able to do it and be able to do multiple hikes like back to back, like day of, next day, next day, next day. There were no days where we were just like stopping and not doing anything. So I would say you can definitely do this hike. Just make sure that you are prepared, do your research, do some practice hikes, make sure you're good to go. But I would say it's definitely one of the harder hikes I've ever done in my life, like for sure. But it was very doable, and the guides are amazing. They encourage you the whole way up. They get you very prepared. They actually took like our oxygen, our pulse, our blood pressure, just to make sure our vitals are good. We had to do check-ins every night to make sure that just like health-wise we were good to go up. And so a lot of it is very much like a mental battle, because they were like, you have to trust your body, like your body can do it. Or if it's telling you that it doesn't want to do it, then that's okay too. Like you don't have to go up. If you, even if you get to the summit day and your body's just shutting down, it's so much more important to take care of yourself than to meet some arbitrary goal, no matter how badly you want to do that. I think it's so much more important to take care of your health. So don't feel bad if you get up there and you just find that you're so sick that you can't do it. Totally fine. But if you're not feeling that sick and you're just like, oh my God, this is so hard, like I pulled energy from places I didn't even know I had. And honestly, it was so cool. So I hope you have that experience. And I would say it was definitely harder on me than some of the other people in my group, because the altitude sickness was definitely affecting me very hard. But I feel like I have discovered like new limits to my body that didn't exist before. And if I had to do it again, I absolutely could. Um, Maybe not anytime soon, but like it wasn't so bad that I look back and I'm like, I would never do that again. It was a challenge. Like you're climbing a legitimate mountain, like it's gonna be challenging. But you do it together and you do it with that sense of community and you do it because you want to. Remember, nobody's forcing you to do anything. You chose to do it to yourself. So that's my final word on it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe. I don't know, maybe I'll do more of these videos and like as I do more trips, but I just wanted to give back because so many people had posted videos that were helpful to me. So I wanted to share my experience with people who might be considering doing this or already on their way to doing it and just wanted to know, what do I bring? Because that was me like literally 3 weeks ago. I was panic buying things and panic researching. So I hope that this is a very comprehensive list and helps you feel more prepared for your trip. And honestly, I hope you have such an amazing time and a lot of fun. Um, it was really, it was amazing. So, uh, good luck to you. And yeah, that's it.